welcome to your 6-month tarot reading. We are going to dive into the energies of the next 6 months, particularly because it is a very significant time frame for each of us. Okay. So before we dive into it, I do want to, first of all, thank each one of you who have subscribed. I've reached over 100 subscribers. My channel's new, so every one of you that are appreciating this content, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do and hit the notification bell. Also, remember to like the video and make comments. Leave comments. I'd love to hear from you and get to know those of you who are interested in what I'm bringing forward. So thank you again. Next, I would like to just let each one of you know that this intro will be in every one of your readings, okay? Because I do not want to potentially miss something, as this information is so important. By repeating it 12 times, that can get kind of redundant, first of all. And secondly, as it goes on, I may end up forgetting a piece or two. So we don't want that to happen. So typically I give each one of you your own special time in the beginning. But at this point, let's go ahead and just be all on one page, because even though it's going to impact us differently, and that's why you'll each have a reading, right? But the energies are affecting all of us. Okay. So the reason this is so significant is because Chiron has just gone into retrograde. Now, every one of us has a Chiron placement in our chart, in our natal chart. Oh, I should also say, I am not an astrologer. Okay. I am not. I am a tarot reader, but I am very sensitive to current energies. Okay. And when I feel the planet shifting, when I feel something significant, like I did this last December when Chiron went direct, I felt very impacted on looking at the Chiron wound. And many of you may be feeling very impacted by this Chiron retrograde. Okay. Um, and you may have been really dealing with your Chiron wound as of last December. It may have flared up for you also. So what is the Chiron wound? What am I talking about? So if you're not familiar, the Chiron wound is a wound that you would have had since birth, okay? And it will have impacted you throughout your entire life. Now, let's dive into Chiron's story, because we'll need to make some parallels here so that it really gives you the depth of what's going on. So, Chiron was conceived in in a rape condition. Okay, so his mother was, okay? So what happened is, let's do this. Let's really chat. All right. So what happened was Saturn came to Earth to see his son Zeus, or Jupiter, and he fell in love, or was taken back, very much interested in a water nymph. And he pursued her, and she just continued to not be interested in him and escaping him. So she comes to Zeus, or Jupiter, and asks him to turn her into a horse, a mare, so that she can get away from Saturn. And so he does. Well, Saturn finds out, and he turns himself into a stallion, and he meets up with her, and they produce a child. So when it's time for her to give birth, she goes up into the mountains and she births this child. And because they were, had been horses at the time, she gave birth to a half human, half boy, and half horse, half stallion. Okay. So she was mortified at this. She was embarrassed. She did not want to raise this child. So she abandoned him in a field. And she went back to Zeus and asked him to turn her into a tree. And he did. So that's mom. Mom's out of the picture. But you can see where he was conceived in a trauma, and then at birth, he had a trauma. This is where it begins to parallel our lives, okay? Because you will have this in your chart. This wound has been placed there, and you chose this at a soul level of what you wanted to really be an impact. Now, where this is really great is Chiron is also known as the wounded healer. So a shepherd found him in the field and takes him to the temple of Apollo. And Apollo and his sister Athena, Artemis. I am so sorry, you guys. I want to say Athena, but it could have been Artemis. Okay. So whoever is Apollo's sister. Okay. So they raised him and gave him an elite education. He learned prophetic abilities. He learned the healing arts and medicine. He learned art itself and the beauty of art. And he learned the ways of a noble warrior, where fighting is the last option when it comes to war. Okay. And he taught a lot of gods and heroes, which are demigods. He taught a lot of them throughout history and or Greek mythology. Okay. So he taught a lot of them. Later, he ended up sustaining his own physichical wound. Okay, he was in battle with Hercules. They were on the same team. Hercules had an arrow that was had been dipped in poison made by a god, and had shot his target, and it went through the target and hit Chiron in either the thigh or the knee, depending on which story you're looking at. So he was wounded, and because he is a demigod, um, he could not die, and because it was a poison that was created by a god, he could not heal it. So he asked for his immortality to be taken from him so that he could die from this wound. And so he did. Now there's another part of the story where it branches off, and he sends Hercules to free Prometheus, which, I mean, it kind of pertains because Prometheus is Aquarius energy, but we're not going to go into that. We could, but not today. Not today. Okay, so we all know that Pluto is in Aquarius right now, and Pluto is helping us to mine. Oh, it does. Ah, sorry, that's why it's coming up. Okay, see, this is why I didn't want to repeat it 12 times. Okay, so Prometheus is the energy is some of Aquarius. Okay, Prometheus had stole the fire back for man, because he, according to Greek mythology, he created man, so he was aligned not with the god Zeus, who took the fire as punishment from man. He went actually to Apollo and got the fire back from the sun and gave it back to man. Okay, so and then Zeus had him apprehended and chained him to a pillar, and had an eagle come and eat out his liver every day, repeatedly, for forever, for eternity, or until a hero demigod came and rescued him or saved him. And so when Chiron, and I'm not sure exactly how it takes his immortality away, but it does. When he sends Hercules to free Prometheus, because we know Hercules is a demigod, he's a hero. When he frees him, Chiron is able to then be mortal now. Okay, and so he goes and he lives with the other centaurs, which were brutes. They come from a very different lineage, a dark lineage, and they were just kind of beasts. They were unruly. They obeyed no law, right? And they had their way. They would terrorize villages and had their way with women, drank too much, just kind of did their own thing at their own will. Well, Chiron went and lived with them for 700 years, and he was able to teach them all of the things that he had learned with his education with gods, and help to civilize these centaurs. And now we all, in just broad strokes of mythology, if you're not going too deep into it, you can see where centaurs are actually noble creatures in many depictions. Okay, so this is how they got there, was Chiron. Okay, so how does this affect you? Well, your Chiron wound connects directly with your purpose. And we know Chiron's in Aries. We know that our North Node currently is in Aries. Okay. And as of last year's, is it last year's or this or both? I'm not sure. Anyway, as of the eclipse of it was the eclipse that had to do with Aries and Libra. Okay, which is where the north and south nodes are. It opens up this portal for us to be able to heal it. Okay, especially when Chiron, that was this last spring. Okay, Chiron went direct last December. Now he's retrograde again. Okay, and in his retrograde, he's retrograding with Pluto. That's why it was important for me to mention Aquarius energy, because Pluto is in Aquarius now, just like Prometheus or Aquarius, has stolen the fire because he was back for man, because he was aligned to his creation. He was aligned to his own purpose, and not disobeying some godhead. That's what Aquarius is asking each one of us to do, is to be able to step into our authentic self and align ourselves with our own purpose, our own creations, the creation of your own life. Now, what does Pluto have to do with it? So Pluto is Hades. Okay. Pluto is, and the reason why they have two names is, if you don't know, is that Greek mythology, they have one name, and Roman mythology was derived from Greek mythology, is what all the planets are named after, is the Roman god names. Okay. So they're the same people. So, all right. So now, but their stories are just, they're extended stories with the Roman mythology. Okay. So let's go back to Aquarius here. And this Aquarius energy now we know that Pluto went into Aquarius, right? As of earlier this year, finally went, to stay there for a period of time. I think it's doing, when a retrograde, it does touch back into Capricorn for just a moment. But when it does go retrograde, as Pluto retrogrades, it is going to create a conjunction with Chiron. And Pluto, like I said, is Hades, which is your own personal underworld. Now, that can sound a little bit scary, going into your own personal hell, right? And we can all agree that the wound that we've carried with our own life has been our own personal hell. Well, the beauty of Pluto is that Pluto mines the wealth that is under the surface. Okay. So if Pluto is helping, so they're going to go conjunct in like the same degree, like 21 degrees, 20 degrees, and 19 degrees, when they are doing this dance together, Pluto and Chiron. So as Chiron's in retrograde and as Pluto's in retrograde, and they're going to be, like I said, doing this, Pluto's going to help you get underneath everything and help you to recognize where all of the skills, all of the talents, all of the things that you personally have been able to cultivate from a wounded state, just like Chiron did when he received his education. So, and retrograde Chiron's going to help you take a look, revisit that wound, but it's going to be in a very beautiful, harmonious way to help you release it once and for all, to align you with your purpose. Okay. This is your Chiron, the wounded healer. As you, as you heal that wound, it becomes your biggest medicine. Your biggest wound throughout your life becomes your biggest medicine, and becomes prevalent within achieving your own personal purpose, your own personal destiny, which is promise that you made to yourself when you chose to come into this lifetime. So you can see how all these things are working together, and the stories really parallel what's going on with your life. Now, as I've done a little bit of research, I have discovered that the Chiron wound can often be connected to the mother wound. So, looking at where your moon is in your chart, the mother wound, by looking at the moon in your chart. Now, why the moon? Because the moon does represent mother figure, the maternal aspects within each of us, the mother figures that we have had in our life, you as a mother figure to other people, whatever that looks like for you. But this wound, this Chiron wound, may have something to do with wounds that your own mother had. You may have gotten this in utero, which can be often called like karmic or ancestral wounds, right? But you'll notice as you take a look at the things that have been really activated over this last 7 months, especially, um, may have something to do with what your mother dealt with and you have been perpetuating in your own life. Okay. Now, what's really interesting, when I said it's a beautiful, harmonious, take a look at it, not to scare you, not to fear this healing, but in a way that's actually going to move, because Venus is helping us out, and Venus knows what your desire is. And your desire is to feel fulfilled and purposeful in your life in your own unique way. Again, touching back to that Aquarius energy, right? You being unique, being yourself. It's sort of like rebellion energy of like, I don't need a godhead or some system telling me what I need to do. I need to be listening to my own inner guidance. Now, Venus is at the tail end of Leo. We're about to have a new moon in Leo on the 4th of August. Huge, huge part of this story. Why? Because like I said, Venus is helping you to achieve what is the most desired for you. Venus also rules Libra, which is the South Node. South Node has been working on taking you out of your comfort zones in order to achieve your destiny. And so, but Venus is also connected to the ruling planet of your um your money and your love. Okay, Venus rules both. So when we are in love with our life, when we are in harmony with our own purpose, okay, how where we feel the spark of life, where we feel the spark of joy, where we feel satisfied in our life, it is always easier to become financially, more well off and be be more open to love and loving relationships in our life. Okay. So we have this huge love element that is supporting this final healing of our wound. Now, typically, somebody would have to wait 50 years for Chiron to orbit and have a return in our life. It returns every 50 years. So, usually only once in a lifetime. But you may not be 50. Yeah, chances are most of you are not 50 years old watching this video. Some of you may be right around there, but we're able to really allow this wound to become our greatest medicine, our greatest purpose because of this retrograde and with Pluto and this final release of it, and not have to wait until that space and time when we are right around 50 years old. So this is miraculous. This is huge. This is a really big deal. So, what I want to do is I want to dive into the tarot with each one of you and find out what that overlighting energy looks like for you. So you may or may not be familiar with your natal chart. A lot of people don't have the information of what time they were born, so that makes it difficult to get a full picture of your natal chart. So let's rely on another tool to find out what is going to be activated within you in order to create this different storyline. You literally are able to rewrite the story of your life and make a huge quantum leap and shift upwards towards the things that you have desired for yourself. Okay. So let's find out which with each sign. I would like for you to, if you're interested, look at, oh, I'm so sorry. See? Again, glad I didn't do this 12 times. With Venus being in Leo, Leo, the sun, right? Okay, Leo the Leo sign is the sun. We're looking at father figure and your exterior, external material world. You and the external, I'm saying that right? You and your external world. Okay. So now you could be looking at, so what we have the opportunity here for again is now not only healing a wound that had been created within our mother relationship, we also have the ability to heal a wound within our father relationship, because father figure, and you in your external world. Okay. So whatever that looks like for you, we all have these feminine and masculine energies within us. Every one of us does. Every one of us has some sort of a relationship, whether they were involved in our life or not, with father, mother figures, either how you have been that for other people, how other people have been that for you. And now it is time for us to be able to do that for ourselves. Again, we are rising to be independent, okay, but have interdependent relationships because, again, Pluto and Aquarius setting the tone for this generation is all about each one of us being able to self resource, for us to be able to soothe ourselves and give ourselves what we need in order to be strong, the strength within the collective. Okay. We're not leaning on external information. We're not leaning on other people to give us our answers, to give us our validation. We are able to now self resource what we need by healing these wounds once and for all, and being able to show up in a very authentic way, strong, and be able to have harmonious relationships with those who we are working with, those who we are engaging with in our own personal life. Okay. So again, this is a very significant next 6 months, and it is going to be much easier for you to be able to release than you probably suspected. So along with looking at the overlighting energies for each one of you in your sign, I will also pull cards, a card or cards, and usually ends up being cards, right? Cards for the final outcome. What will the final outcome at the end of this 6 months, or as this energy purges from your field, what will that look like for you? What is that final outcome? And I'm sure it's going to be significant for each one of us. So I hope that was helpful and not confusing, to be able to draw those parallels from the mythology, which really explains, personifies explaining, um, energies. That's what the mythology does, is it gives us some insight to, the energies through personifying or having people or gods. Are not really, I guess a person, right? A person being able to hold the energies. So again, let's not continue going on here. Again, I hope that was very helpful. Let's go ahead and dive into the cards for each one of you. One more thing. Okay, one more thing. Um, so I have started to say I wanted you guys to watch for your sun, because that is going to be your uh like I said, father figure, father in masculine energy in you and your external world and your purpose. Okay. This is very connected to what propels you forward, what keeps you moving in this life. Okay. Watch for your rising if you have that information, and that is going to be your whole self. Okay. And watch for your moon, because that again is your mother figure, but also the inner workings of you, how your mind works, how you think about things, the things that you eat, and taking in your home. So think inward for your moon. Okay, that's what that is. It's what's going on that everybody isn't necessarily seeing. What's going on inside of you, how you process things is going to be your moon. It's also a really great idea for you to watch for your Venus as well, because Venus is an active part of this, right? And Venus is your like love and money. And she, but a lot of times people will watch their Venus for not only money, but for how people attract to them, what type of people they attract, that kind of thing. So you can, take the information and apply it to which one of these areas of your life or your chart, if you do have that information. Also, if you are interested in not having to wait for the content to be released throughout the week, to be able to get all of these, please join my Patreon community, and you will have access to all of the videos on Mondays. And you won't have to wait to watch for each one of those placements in your life. Or if you're wanting to cross watch for somebody who is significant for you, that's always very helpful for navigating your life as well. So, okay, now let's begin. Okay, Leo, thank you so much for joining me. And we are going to use the gold foil deck. All the decks that I use are in the description box below, the links to them if you'd like your own. And we are going to dive into what it is that you are going to be walking through over the next 6 months in order to become the greatest version of yourself, yet rewriting your story completely. Okay, what is it around? What is it around? All right, 3 cards, please, Spirit. Mhm. Okay. Page of Cups, creativity. Um, this could also mean falsehoods. It's delusion. Um, let's see. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting delusion from you. Or I'm not getting no. What I'm getting from this card for you, actually, this is great. This is amazing. Okay. So okay, so this is Pisces. This is Neptune in Pisces. Now, this is subconscious. Okay. And what we're talking about here is your ability to tap into what's beneath the surface, what's below, what is kind of a driving force, what is the subconscious um, programming bringing you towards? Well, it says right here that your programming is bringing you to everything that satisfies you. Now, that's not surprising for a Leo. Okay, everything that brings you all of the joys, all of the happiness, all the satisfaction, you're aligned to it. Okay, you're aligned to your satisfaction. The Queen of Pentacles, this is where you're nurturing your physical world. You are taking care of yourself so that you can align your energy with what it is that you want. This is this is you recognizing your personal life and your financial well-being is the most important thing for you. It is like your life is your greatest asset. I mean, of course, it's your greatest asset, um, but consciously are aware of that. This this Queen of Pentacles feels so precious to me right now for you because this is where you're really beginning to take care of you to tend to your life in a better way. Okay. I love this. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get 2 clarifiers for each one of these 3 cards. Okay. My heart feels so open. You guys are really open heart energy, but it feels so open and so happy for you right now, Leo. Okay, so we have the 2 of cups. Now, this is where you're either connected to yourself or connected to a soul mate. Okay. I just looked over and saw that you are at the bottom of the deck. You choosing you. I love that. You choosing you, Leo. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. So I see this here. I see this here. I see what spirit's talking about. And Pisces is the not only subconscious, but the sign of spirit. Okay. So what this is saying is you connecting to your higher self and receiving information from that connection within. And you're going to have enormous success. This is Leo card. This is external success in your life. This is yeah, it's successful, it's championed, it's others can see you for everything that you've achieved, right? Celebration of your power. 6 of Wands. Again, Lover's card. Okay. Lover's card, and being deeply satisfied within your um no, those are both Gemini cards. Those are both Gemini cards. Okay. All right. Now, we do have Mars in Gemini, okay, which is action, 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 around what you're thinking. Mm-hmm. 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 No. I think that I had seen before for you guys when you connected to your heart's desire, you're connected to your heart's desire. And um and this connection between you and a lover. I mean, we know that oh my God. Okay. And what's it? It's you at the bottom of the deck. Again, strength. Can we see this if I put it up here? Let's just move this over just a little bit. All right. So strength here is where you have tamed any fears that you might have. Phoenix, hermit, internal workings. Okay. Okay. So, mhm. So you tap into this is so fantastic. So you tap into the inspiration or the knowledge that your higher self is you're choosing to look inward. Okay. You're looking inward for your answers. And that enormously blesses your life. Like you're able to take that action immediately. It enhances your love life. Okay. It's enormously satisfying because, well, what do we have? We have Venus in your sign. So yeah, your love life is like probably off the charts right now of really great. Um, but what's happening is that connection between you and yourself and you and your lover are manifesting your ability to take the greatest care of yourself. You're able to release all of your fears. You're able to nurture yourself because you are connected to something deeper. You're connected to the love within you, love within your partnership, love for what you're doing. I'll look at you just literally. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less, honestly, for Leos being in Leo season, but you're not going to be in Leo season for the next 6 months, the entire time, right? So what does this look like for you for the next 6 months? You being the most magnificent version of yourself. I mean, you literally break free. Okay, so there's challenge. There's a challenge. It's very small challenge. What is that? Conflict or competition in the world? Very small. Magician again. Hierophant again. Oh my God. So the hermit here is you getting wisdom from within. Okay. You listening to you to take care of you and your life. Hermit's taking care, right? It's tending to. Um, or this is tending to based on something that you have learned from within. Okay. It's internal wisdom. And you exemplifying yourself here, you just stepping out into the world and shining. There is very little competition, very little. I mean, it's this is a minor, like more of a learning curve, more energy as you come out into the world. A successful, successful. I want to know and connected again with an expansion of your life. So when I see the Hierophant, often I can see that it's your life has taken on a new standard, a higher standard of living. Okay. So what is that magician telling us? I want to know more about the magician. This is incredible, Leo. Incredible. Okay. So this is where your ship is coming in. This is where you have, mhm. This is calmer, peaceful waters, creativity. Uh-huh. And work. Okay. Yeah. So this and this just popped up as well, the Ace of Wands. Okay. So really you falling in love with yourself in a bigger way, you aligning with what it is that you want, you drawing off of this wisdom on from, being able to quiet yourself and go like, what the hermit here is about. Um you know, it's about withdrawing from the external world in order to um, see what spirit is saying to you, see what's internally coming forward. And this combustion happens, but not without this connection between you and a lover. This connection between you and a lover is very much soul connection. Okay. Now, it's interesting because when I had seen Cancer, I saw Cancer was probably gonna be connecting with a Leo. So, maybe it's a Cancer, I don't know, but we do have a lot of Gemini energy here. Anyway, regardless of well, we have Cancer there. So, here's the thing, is that you begin to love yourself, that extends to your relationships. You're able to receive love back from, your lover in a very harmonious way, and because you're being able to listen to yourself in a stronger than ever way, you become glorified. I mean, and your work, what you do in this world is celebrated. You financially are rewarded. You literally have opened up new pathway for yourself in an opportunity. And this is a career opportunity. Okay. So I think that the love for yourself, the love for a partner, and it expands you in a way that blesses your material world and opens up new career opportunities for you. That's what I see. And I don't see that you're having really any trouble with this at all. Literally, you are about to just explode, Leo, with everything that's possible for yourself. And it's just a minor learning curve, right? This is absolutely fantastic, Leo. Is there anything else that Leo needs to know? I mean, I think you got it, but I'm going to go ahead and ask: is there anything else that Leo needs to know about their final outcome? Truth and who you are, authenticity. Going about something a different way. This is about walking away from the way that somebody else would have, the way that you've been taught to do things. Walking away from. Uh-huh. Okay, that makes sense. One more card. Do we have one more card for Leo? Did I just want to just be absolutely certain before I say exactly what? Wheel of Fortune and Ten of Wands, or excuse me, Ace of Wands. Okay. Yep. All right. So here's the deal. Let's talk about the Seven of Swords for just a moment. The Seven of Swords is about somebody who had been in like a military camp, They learned a particular way of going about, like attacking, approaching life, approaching this battle. Okay. And you have decided, or this person is like, I actually am going to go about it a very different way. And so they take all this information and they skedaddle. They get out of there. And so what we're seeing here is that you see the truth around the way that you had been taught to do things. Okay. And I believe personally that, and here we have this little Libra right there. Um, I believe that there's a lot of energy within Leo that talks about hard work, okay? That has been up to you to make sure that everything runs smoothly. That's because that if you're not doing your part and everybody else's part also, that everything's going to fall apart. There's a lot of parts. You've taken on a lot of parts. You've taken on a lot of responsibility. And I think that you were taught that you thought that I think that you thought that you were being taught at least that that's how you show up in the world is by working hard and taking care of everything else. And you have since realized that by choosing the authentic and true version of yourself, your own personal truth, which is simply love, which is love and satisfaction and joy and happiness. I mean, the King of Wands is charismatic. It is heart centered. It is love. It is passion. It is connection. It is everything pleasurable. It is curiosity at the childlike level. It is fun. I mean, the Leo energy is fun. And I think that it is you reconnecting to the truth of who you are on that level versus working hard that is going to literally change the direction of your life in a way that is extremely abundant. I mean, I can see a change happening in your career. I can see a very significant upshift in your finances and opening up a brand new door of opportunity for you right here. Okay. Because why? You care about yourself. You care about your inspiration. You care about your intuition. You care about your connection with yourself. You care about your lover. You care about those things, the happiness within. And it creates this balance and justice here as I mean, we have the swords. It's the balance between creativity and action, right? And being able to make a strong decision that is supportive of balance, right? Again, balance, going back to balance. Now, this Venus energy here, she is all about I know what your true heart's desire is. And when you align with your true heart's desire, which is all the things I named about being a Leo, fun, charismatic, passion, pleasurable, childlike curiosity, all of those brilliant things, just simply heart centered and warm energy that you are, is enough. That's enough. And it literally changes your fortunes in your favor. The Beatles are starting to play now. I'm getting that all you need is love. And you come back to that over the next 6 months. Love for self, love for partner, love for life, and everything grows from there. Everything grows from there. Okay, Leo, I am really excited about this shift for you, and I hope that you are too. Um, please own your happiness, own your self love, and that will change everything. Speaking of which, I love you, and Source adores you. Take care now.